everybody. Number 64 in the Criterion collection, The Third Man, directed by Carol Reed from the United Kingdom in 1949. This is a noir film that is a little different from the stereotypical mold of noir films. What is a noir film? I'll get to that in a minute. Let's do the basics of this film, right? This is an American Western author, a writer of Westerns, is invited by his friend to come stay at Vienna. And when he gets there, his friend has died in a tragic accident. Except our main character doesn't believe it was an accident because facts aren't adding up, and he begins to delve into a mystery as to who murdered his friend, that very clearly there are forces that don't want him to solve this mystery. And then things get weird. That's as much plot as you're getting out of me. It's a very good noir film, I think. Very enjoyable. The fact that it takes place in Vienna, which at that time was under the control of 3 different governments, Germany, Russia, and I forget the third. So there's an international flavor to the whole thing that's very interesting. Also, they use a lot of canted or Dutch angles. Both terms apply. If you don't know what those are, I'm going to shift the camera here a little bit to give you a feeling, so I apologize for any disorientation. This is a Dutch angle, or a canted angle. They are the same thing. Whenever you see this in a film, we've talked before about how there's a language to cinema that even if you don't know what the language is, you do speak it. Seeing stuff like this makes you uneasy. Uncomfortable. Something seems off. I'm going to set it back. And that's deliberate. When the camera is at a canted or a Dutch angle, the idea is to communicate to the audience that something is off. Something is not right. Things are not as they should be. You should not be comfortable in this environment. Now, it's different from... I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to make you seasick, but occasionally some directors will do a switch back and forth between canted angles. You'll do that to represent, being on a ship, or to represent somebody is drunk or otherwise disoriented. When it's shifting like that, it's usually a sign of something physically wrong with the main character, as opposed to just a static canted angle, which is a sign to you, the viewer, that something is mentally wrong. There's either anxiety, or it's used a lot in dream sequences because it feels unnatural. So what is a noir film? Because I said we would get to that. Noir films, the stereotypical noir film, right? The first thing that jumps to mind when you think of noir film should be a private eye behind his desk in his office going, "I knew the dame was trouble the second she walked in. She had legs that went all the way down to the floor." Well, saxophone plays, right? That is the most stereotypical noir scene. Noir film is traditionally, and with any genre of film, you're going to find exceptions, outliers, and people who like to push the envelope or even do a little bit of postmodernism on it, which is, break it down and play with its parts. Typically, it's going to be a black and white film, highlight stark shadows, so severe lighting. Your main character's typically going to be a detective, but not necessarily. Like in this case, he's a writer. Usually there's a mystery to be solved. Typically, your main character is going to be cynical. The movie's going to deal with themes of corruption and bureaucracy and things not seeming like what they are, and twists and turns and not being able to trust anybody. That is your stereotypical noir film. Noir coming from the French term for black, which is, again, it's this sharp shadows, bright lights, dark shadows, right? The Maltese Falcon, I think, is probably the epitome of noir films. If you've seen that, that's sort of the blueprint for the genre. Even though it's not the first, I feel like it's the most. Chinatown is another good example of a noir film. Actually, there's a lot of other Humphrey Bogart films too, but... So, this is a solid noir film that feels a little different because our main character is a writer, and the international flavor does make it feel a little different. I liked it. It was a good experience. Would you like this film? I don't know you. Why do you keep asking me this? Do you want to see like a detective style story? Intrigue, mystery, dames? Well, one dame. Then yeah, absolutely. If that kind of film is not your cup of tea, then no, this is not going to be the film for you. Overall, thumbs up. I enjoyed the film. Our next movie is Rushmore by Wes Anderson from the United States from 1998. And I'm going to have a lot to say about Wes Anderson in this next one. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I guess you're going to have to wait and find out, huh? I'll see you next time. Thank you, as always, for participating in this weird little project of mine that looks like it's going to consume the next 20 years of my life. I'm happy to have you here. We're in this together. Every like that a video gets, I'm not asking you for likes or subscribes or anything. I don't make any money off YouTube. I don't care what you do. But when I get a like, it does encourage me to keep going. I will likely keep going anyway. But I don't have to make a video of every film. But when I see the likes, it means somebody out there is enjoying it, so I should keep going. Do with that what you will. And I will see you next time.